It is time for another edition of Get Real with Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate. Ben, it's always good to have you here. Good to see you. You brought a special guest this time.
Very special.
And you tell me this is Danny Pothig. And why is Danny with us today?
Danny is with us today just as sort of a commentator. I'd like to bring all the guys on the team onto the show eventually, so they can kind of tell their story and where they're from and what they do. Danny and I were sitting in the office before I came down here today and just decided it'd be fun to do a trio today. So,
well, a lot of the feedback we've gotten too is we can get someone more well-spoken.
Yes.
That's right.
On the radio show to represent.
And better looking.
Yeah.
Well, it's not hard to do that, right, Ben? Ben Bleicher with us. I'm Jake Sorensen, Danny Pothig, our special guest. This show is all about real estate, all about buying, selling, the trends in the market. We can talk about taxes today as well. Ben did a good job before this by posting on social media. What do you guys want to hear about today in terms of things going on in Nebraska and Lincoln and in the buying sellers market in terms of late January? Here we are in the first quarter of 2024. And we'll get to a lot of things here, but quickly, let's go back to Danny for a second, because, again, it was first-time person here with Ben. You decided to come down today. Tell us your story, Danny, how you got involved with Ben and just in general in the business.
Yeah, I've been doing real estate full-time since 2019. I decided to go off and do my own thing May of 2019, and Ben and I have had a number of transactions together before we decided to join each other, but we just always got along. I liked Ben's kind of no nonsense approach, very black and white, honest, communicative, which is it's effective when you're trying to get a deal done. And it was just different than other experiences. And I'm not interested in naming names, but it was just refreshing. And so we always kind of got along that way. We were pretty similar. So opportunity arose, what was it? Early 2022.
It's been about 2 years.
Yeah. And so Ben was looking at making a change from where he was at, and I was looking at making a change from where I was at. And we talked. Ben had told me a few years ago, hey, if you ever, are going to do something, just call me first. And so I remember, I try to remember stuff like that. And so I called him, and long story short, we're here today. So it's the best thing that's ever happened to him.
How about that? How about that? The best thing ever? Ben,
no,
can you confirm that?
No, between me and this guy here, we do in excess of $50 million in real estate transactions a year. So
that's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal from what I hear.
He's also improved everything over the last 2 years. I mean, we talked about him last episode. He did $23 million last year, which even the top 10% of agents in Lincoln are lucky if they ever get over 20. And he's only 5 years in the business. So it's
gone well for you. It's been effective. Been a good career here.
It's good. Yeah. A little bit of luck, a little bit everything kind of comes into play with that. But I like where I'm at. And blessed to get to do what I do. And, real estate's a job that gives you, it's a job. It gives you the resource to live your life, but it gives me a platform to serve God, to serve my church. And so that's the most important thing to me as well.
Love it. Again, he's Danny Pothig, the special guest with us. Again, a reminder, if you are watching this, you can check us out: Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Allo961. Leave us a comment. You can always text or call 402-464-5685, or you can call Ben and the squad at 402-HOMES4U, or go online to prg-ne.com. All right, so we again, Ben did asked on Facebook before we got going, and what do people want to hear about today? I mean, we've had a lot of shows that have gone over several things, but it's nice to have some response from people that are either in the business or want to know more about real estate. So we'll go through a couple of your questions on here, Ben, because people did a good job of getting quick response on here.
Well, and we only did it 30 minutes.
I know.
So we did get some pretty good response. good buddy of mine, Felix. He owns the Tasty Churro Company.
Okay.
You know him.
I do know it. He brought churros in here. They were delightful.
They're wonderful.
They are incredible.
We love them.
Yes.
He asked ethical versus unethical yet legal practices in real estate, things to look out for as a buyer and seller. That's a wonderful topic that we probably could dedicate an entire
very vague
episode.
I mean, that could go a lot of directions.
It's not too vague. It's a great Felix, but it without having direction. I've mentioned this before. I will only touch briefly on this because, like I said, otherwise we'll spend the rest of the day talking about ethics, which is not. It's fun for me to talk about, probably boring for our listeners. Ethics is huge in real estate. We are fiduciaries. We're expected to be such, where we have to put our clients' best interest first, no matter what. Like, we can never say, you should buy this house because I need a paycheck, or don't worry about this problem that I know is a problem because I'm tired of showing you houses. Like, that's the wrong attitude. That's the unethical way to do things. And that is something a lot of realtors will do. And I'm going to let him talk about this at some point, is how to check stats. We do this a lot when we're like interviewing for a listing. Hey, here's what I've done. Here's what the other guy you're talking to or gal has done. Yada yada yada. Anyways, the way that sort of swings back to ethics is those of us that are fairly experienced in this have learned that we have to be ethical. You can't be in this business and do bad business, because bad news travels way further than good news, as you know, or negative.
Absolutely.
So ethics is huge. Make sure whoever you deal with, whether it's us or your sister's uncle's brother who does real estate, make sure that they have your best interest at heart and are ethical agents. You can usually tell by just talking to them. If you have any sort of radar of any
pretty
sort,
quickly early on.
Yeah, you ought to get a good feel.
Okay.
Whether they're trying to push you in a direction that benefits them or you. So.
Yeah, I would think it's sometimes, again, right away you can tell, but occasionally you don't know how to trust somebody, how soon to trust what they're saying, what they're telling you. Danny, what's your experience with that?
Yeah, I think, a lot of people, and it's understandable, they're pretty quick to take someone's word for it, essentially. So I've had numerous experiences where I've had sellers who believed they were going to get a certain amount of money for their house because, an agent that they had met with was emphatic about, we can get this for you. And when I talk to the seller after they've had a failed experience getting that, I have to I can't go bash that agent. I just have to kind of empathize and say, hey, it's not your fault that you believed him, because at the time you had a professional in front of you and you thought, this person knows more about this than I do, so I'm going to trust them. And there's also an emotional side to it. If they're telling you you're going to get a lot of money for their house and they're going to overperform even beyond your expectations, well, why wouldn't you believe that? I mean, it's monetary, and it impacts how much money you're going to get. So you have to take into context who you're talking to. And Ben and I were talking about this a little bit earlier when we were talking about different topics we would discuss. But how do you know what the person is telling you is factual? Like, how do you fact check it when you're interviewing agents and they're promising you X, Y, and Z? Well, how do you know what questions to ask and what follow-up questions to ask and where to check it? And so what Ben was alluding to earlier a little bit was we have different resources that we can use that we're very comfortable putting the stats of us versus anybody in front of a client, because the odds are pretty good that we have the track record behind us to prove what we are saying we're going to do. And what goes with that is just, as it ties to ethics, is there's probably a good likelihood we know what we're talking about. We've experienced the different scenarios that are going to come up, and we can help navigate through that stuff. But when we put the stats us against anybody, it paints a picture of, okay, these guys really do this day in and day out. And there's a lot of agents that are part-time. They do this, they have other jobs, which it's okay. Like, I'm not dogging that, but at the end of the day, there are a number of reasons why it is much more beneficial to go with people who do this for real day in and day out, because the market changes frequently. at the drop of a dime. Things can
every
change
week, the
pretty
last
quick.
year.
And so you have to have your finger on the pulse of it every single day to know what's going on so that you know how you can educate somebody on what to do. And if you're a seller and you're visiting with, 2 agents, one of them's Ben Bleicher and one of them's Betty Boop.
Betty Boop.
Betty Boop.
Our statistics show, Betty Boop has said, I am the gal for you. We can do X, Y, and Z. We're going to come in and all these recommendations and all this stuff based on a history of almost no sales, right?
Yep.
You've seen this 100 times. And then you got Ben Bleicher, who's got an obvious presence on social media, online, everywhere. So as a seller, one thing you can do that's very easy is you can just go on their social media. Are they about it? Like, are they doing this for real? When's the last time they posted something about a house? Or are they just on Zillow once, are they just putting their listing on the grocery store shelf and hoping somebody walks by and says, "Oh, I want that." What are they doing extra for you? So there's a lot of ways you can kind of check. So
Social media is a big one.
it is.
If someone has their profile blocked and they're selling 10 million a year, you wonder why their profile is blocked. Like,
Yeah.
we're in a public facing position, at least.
Well, I would also wonder in terms of, on that note, social media, obviously, if they're active, they're posting stuff, reason to trust them. If they're not, then maybe you're skeptical. But we're all guilty of at some point being fallen for somebody that's oversold something. And
Yeah.
in general, that's another thing about trusting realtors in your profession. I mean, we've got duped by people selling concert tickets, over promising stuff. There's always stuff that people are trying to sell that either they just oversell and underdeliver. You guys are the opposite. You guys always try to overdeliver in what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think it just comes down to, it's just human nature. I think out of convenience, as a seller, we could interview multiple people, but we kind of felt like that person knew what they were talking about and they seemed like they gave us good information. And gosh, I don't want to redo this appointment another hour with somebody else. I'm busy. So it's understandable why that happens. It's just, if you put it out there that these things happen to people, that they hire somewhat unqualified people, not because they decided they were going to hire an unqualified person. They didn't know that. They thought they were hiring a professional. It's not until after they go through the experience that they realize, oh, that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So you're dealing with a house sale that you do maybe once on average 5 or 6 years, right? The average person until they get to a certain age. So I'm just saying, spend that extra hour, spend that extra minute to go look them up, do your due diligence, because it's thousands and thousands of dollars that it'll cost you potentially to not have the right person in place. And again, we are all guilty of doing something in some way, shape, or form. On what scale does that impact our lives potentially? Who knows? I mean, it just depends on what we're talking about, right? But for a house, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, you'll ever deal with.
You mentioned also, I think that it's important that, we all have buddies. You guys obviously are professionals every day, but we all have friends say, "Oh, I'm going to dabble in real estate. I'm going to get my license and I'm going to do this full time. But I'm going to sell this." And again, not trying to shoot those, put them down, but when you guys are in the business every day, this is your full-time job. This is something I do on the side. This is what I do.
It's not a job for us. It's our career.
It's your career. It's your profession. It's your career. Yeah. Like, I mean, do you ever, when people ask you questions regarding can you trust somebody that's on the doing as a side business versus someone that's a professional? How do you respond to that?
I say yes. I say you can trust them. You have the words we choose you got to be careful,
Understood.
Right? Because just because somebody's doing it part-time doesn't make them untrustworthy. It just means that they might not. There's a possibility. There's a greater likelihood that they are not as equipped to do this as well as somebody who's doing it every day. And for a number of other reasons, if somebody is doing it part-time, they might not have the success, thus the resource to market your house properly. So you'll see agents who come in and take pictures with their cell phone, for example, to save $200 on a when they're trying to sell your 300, 400, $500,000 house. Unacceptable. I mean, they'll take pictures that look like they were taken on a potato,
Ooh,
and it's not okay.
I want that.
And we joke about that, but it's real. It's
That's
like
Ben's phone.
if that's
Potato.
that's a real easy. That to me is a no-brainer. If you've got an agent that's not even willing to hire the professional to do what they are not professional at, they're not coming in and inspecting the house on their own. They're not issuing title work. They're getting the appropriate professionals involved at every point in the transaction. So the most important one, arguably, on the front end is how does your property look the first time people see it, which is online, social media, etc. So not that people who do it part-time don't do it the right way. Some do, but the likelihood, again, is pretty significant that they won't. So I'm not, I will be very honest about the realistic part of this stuff. I'm not going to bash anybody, but it is true. It just is what it is. It's not my opinion. It's just the truth.
And Ben, you as the leader of your group, you got people under your wing, and it's every day there's news that comes out, whether it's some sort of inflation or something in the market always comes out every day. There's always something that's impactful to that. It's important to be in the office or at least by your phone, ready to answer an email, ready to answer a text. Like, can you go to the into general, like what's a common day like? And is there a lot of stuff that happens in that news cycle? Like I assume there is.
Yeah, I mean, we also see things from sort of the 5 mile view, just because we do so much business. So like trends and stuff, we're not seeing it on the news. We're seeing it internally. We're very heavy on the listing side. So somebody who lists one house a month, they don't have a perspective. They have no idea because they're not doing the volume to have a perspective. We at times, I mean, I don't know what the most listings we had last year at one time, but 20, maybe
probably
higher.
Yeah.
So we see things that are happening with our own internal stuff, and we don't just do residential. We do commercial, we do leasing, we do all this. So we do a lot of everything. So we kind of have that 5 mile view. As far as you asked what a day looks like in terms of.
Yeah, again, we assume that there's always something that happens in real estate, whether there's something in the news cycle that pops up, whether it's rates changing or just a new trend.
We meet about it all the time. He and I are in the office a lot, maybe more so than others because they're out hustling, trying to get their business to the level they want to be at. And more of ours is like just sort of upkeep of what's already there because of the volume that we do. But so I spend a lot of time in the office. I spend a lot of time watching podcasts to learn about things, but we talk a lot internally. And he and I both harass everybody about being in the office. If you're at home on your couch, you're not working. You might be, but you're not being efficient. And you're just not engulfing yourself in the business, which when you do that, you're going to hear stuff. I mean, there's other people in our office besides us. It's not our office. It's a Berkshire Hathaway office. There's other teams in there. There's other top tier agents in our office. We've got title company there.
It's real estate is something, if you're going to be successful in it, you need to fully immerse yourself in it. There are people that have success in different ways. They're one-offs, right? Like if real estate is not everything that you do from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. majority of the time. Now we all have families,
Absolutely.
I serve in my church a lot. I spend a lot of time with my family. It's all very important to me, but I'm also always accessible. And I found, you find a way to make that all work because that's what you need to do. Because you need to, as you have sellers, you have buyers, you have people that once you get into real estate, you're responsible for. You're responsible for those relationships. You're responsible to be accessible. You're responsible to answer your phone and go show a house at the drop of a hat if, it's approved by the seller. So there's just a lot of things that bad habits like staying home, being in the office and not being around other people. Those can create a lot of bad habits that make it really hard to have success.
I'm not sure people realize, you mentioned this before, Ben, and we all know you've been a workaholic for a long time. It's not a bad thing. It's just what you are. But you guys, you put in the hours. You work long days, and it's 7 days a week, and the weekends are not off. That's busy time. That's showing houses time is the weekend. So Do you
Sunday
feel
is
like
Monday, and Monday is Monday, and then sometimes
Yep.
Tuesday.
There's no day off. People ask me, what days do you take off? I don't have a day off. But also, like, make no mistake, I enjoy that. Like,
Yep.
it's not like I'm
Yeah.
working for somebody. I'm doing it for myself.
Yep.
And for my family and for my church. And so it's when you're self-employed and you're doing it on your own, it doesn't feel, now some people probably feels like work, but we don't think it's not work. It's just kind of what we do. It's a part of us. I know that sounds
Part of it's
cheesy.
making our families understand that. I feel like is like
It's important to have a family that is supportive of that. I'll say that. You
Yeah,
know,
100%.
you can't ask for, in my opinion, a better wife and family situation than I have. Like, would she rather have me home? Yeah, absolutely. And I would rather be home if the circumstances were different, right? But like, I do what I do, and she understands that, and she's super thankful for that. She's very appreciative that she has a husband that works as hard as I do, because there's a lot of people that don't have that. So it's just your worldview and your perspective that can impact how you think about that stuff. And so, yeah, having family at home that is supportive of the way our time can be pulled at different times of the year is super key.
vital.
It's very important.
But before we get to break, I want to ask you, we'll get more of your questions that you have on the Facebook post after the break, but a personal question, because I think about your guys' industry. Obviously, the purchase of a home is a large investment. It's not, you're not getting a couple apples or deodorant at the store. You're spending thousands upon thousands of dollars, some hundreds of thousands of dollars at
You can't
times.
go to the store and negotiate the price of
No.
deodorant.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
That's why he doesn't wear it.
That's right. Yeah, well, I can tell. It stinks in here. But at the same time, I'm curious. Again, I sell advertising for radio. People sell groceries at the store. When a sale is complete for you guys, you're going through the process of showing homes, a particular home, and someone says, "We want this home." Like, what is that moment like for you guys? And then when you pass off the keys and say, "This is your home," like what's that euphoric moment like for you, Ben? You've done it a lot now, but how has it changed from when you started to even now, if it has at all?
It really hasn't. I thought that it would, but it didn't. I mean, I have a closing today. I had one yesterday. I have on Friday. All of them will be super gratifying. I mean, it's the light at the end of the tunnel, always. It makes me happy. It brings me joy to see them. I've missed probably less than 20 closings in the last 10 years. And it's either because I've been out of town or sick. I can't miss them. And some agents don't show up to them, which I think is like,
That's weird.
almost
Yeah.
shameful. Right.
That's your sale, man.
right. You have to shake that hand,
Yeah.
hand a bottle of champagne or a gift or something that they can cherish that will make that moment last longer for them. And then, it's still not over then, but that part of the journey is. And that's gratifying. Anybody who doesn't find that gratifying would be nuts. But it's knowing that it's like the most impactful and largest, purchase they will probably make until the next house they buy is huge. Especially if you do your job and you do it right and you sleep good at night knowing that you helped them along the way, making sure it was a safe purchase. That it just feels really, really good.
Danny, your experience?
Yeah, I would echo a lot of that. The thing that excites me too is the investment part of it, like understanding consumer buyer behavior and that people move an average of every 5-6 years. Ben deals with a little bit on average. He's been in the business 10 years. So he's had, some of his first sales sell their houses, come back to him and sell their houses 5 years ago. And those same people come back to him again to sell more houses and upgrade into another level of house. So, I'm at the 5-year mark and I've seen my average sale price increase just because of things like that, having customers come back, sell, and upgrade into their forever home or a house that serves their family, their growing family a little bit differently. It excites me to kind of paint the picture to people what this house will do for them in 3 to 5 years, depending on what their plan is. Like, maybe this house isn't as big as they wanted. We have an inventory issue in Lincoln. And sometimes things are highly competitive. So sometimes people have to concede certain expectations about what they wanted. And to encourage them that, look, even if this house was 200 square feet bigger, it's probably not what you guys are going to be in for 10 years. It's probably 5 years because you want to be in this area long term, right? So helping them understand how homes appreciate, what they can do to invest in their house to get it to a point that when they are ready in 3 to 5 years, they can maximize their investment, their return on appreciation, and be successful selling so they can get what is going to be serving their family for the rest of their lives. So it's just I think Ben's got maybe different, not that he doesn't find that valuable, but everyone kind of thinks about what they see value in and excitement in the real estate process. For me, that's the part about real estate that excites me, is seeing that. But also I love the relationships. I love the opportunity to touch people's lives and have an impact on them that is different from other people. And that seems cliche, but I invite people to church. I what's important to me is what's going to impact their lives for the rest of their life. And I think if they don't have a relationship with Christ, or they do believe there's a God, right, but they don't have a church home, well, I can offer them that, and I'm willing to offer them that. And that's a platform I can have in real estate that you can't have in many corporate jobs. So I'm thankful that I get to have that. And I've had a lot of people through real estate that have come to church. And to me, that's the most gratifying thing. So I can have those relationships. And I realize I view things a little bit differently than a lot of people, but I think my attitude and interest and heart to serve people first is what has made me successful in a relatively short amount of time in relation to other people.
He is Danny Pothig. He's with Ben Bleicher, Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate. This is Get Real. We talk real estate. We have more to come. So when we come back, again, you guys call these guys at 402-HOMES for you. Go to prg-ne.com. We'll get to some more questions that were posted on social media for the show. More next on Get Real with Ben Bleicher and special guest Danny Pothig here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Vershawn Jackson, the captain here for The Body Shop. And man, did they hook me up with a great massage recently? The captain has a lot of stress in his life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relief. The team at The Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage that hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48th NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and the station.
It's fishing season. Bad actors are trolling your business emails, luring you and your employees to take the bait and steal your private information. Make sure your cybersecurity keeps your business from being the catch of the day. At Hamilton, cybersecurity is our business. We are experts at keeping your network and business information secure and off the hook. Contact Hamilton for a vulnerability assessment today. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
It's Pro Time Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, is playing in the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match on January 24th against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Be a part of history and visit supernovas.com to secure your single match tickets today.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Back here for another segment on Get Real with Ben Bleicher, a professional realty group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador Real Estate. Again, we have got special guest Danny Pothig with us for the full hour. Our first guest, besides Ben, myself, Jake Sorensen. Good to have you guys. Good to have Danny with us. Again, you guys can always text the show at 402-464-5685. You can call also with questions. You can also comment and watch on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, or Allo. Channel 961 statewide 961 every most of the counties in the state, but again Allo 961, but again also you can call 402 homes for you or go to prg-ne.com for more questions, more information. Okay, we're going through a couple questions that were posted on social media. We'll get to interest in a second, but one question: it is tax season. Accountants are busy right now all the way through mid-April, my dad included. Very busy right now. But a question people have is real estate taxes. So obviously it's kind of a broad question. So Ben, I'll let you attack that in terms of the common question you get and the answer you have for that question, those questions.
I mean, we get lots of tax questions and we could seriously have a segment on it, probably bring title in for something like that maybe. But the biggest question we usually get is people questioning why their assessments went up, because that means their taxes went up. Seth Lindgren, buddy of mine from high school, he brought up taxes. You should definitely talk about taxes. And I said, well, don't get me started on taxes, because again, we'll make a whole entire segment of it. Maybe a 3-part episode, 3 episodes.
Could we do 5 parts? I really would love to do 5.
About taxes, we could.
It's an important topic.
Oh, it's a very important topic. And especially in real estate, because those are that's the highest ticket item that we get taxed on, and it does go up and down. And historically, it only goes up. I mean, you can get them to come down, but rarely, if you look at the history of what houses have been worth for the last however many years they've been tracking how much houses are worth, it's never gone down. Like our parents were buying houses for like $25,000, and now you can't even buy a postage stamp piece of land for hardly $125,000. Inflation, but taxes. The biggest question we get is property taxes and why did my assessment go up? Because that means your mortgage payment goes up. Generally, people's mortgages escrow to pay the taxes, and that's how their payment can change. Is if their taxes go up some year, their payment's going to go up. And
For those who
sometimes-
haven't bought a house, what does that mean? Escrow to pay the taxes.
escrow. So if you have a mortgage on a house, 9 times out of 10, regardless how much money you put down, the bank is going to require escrow to pay your insurance every month and your taxes every month. That for some reason that the bank holds that high enough that they want to make sure it's getting paid for you, so they have you escrow it. Occasionally, if you have enough equity into your property you're buying, you can tell the bank you'd like to do these things yourself, and they'll let you. But why not let them do it for free? It's fine. So tax assessments go up. The most worthy thing that we can really talk about on the show that can help you is if your tax assessment does go up or down, or you have questions about it, call us. Call any of us. Everybody on the team is very well versed in taxes, and we can help you determine whether it is worth your time to fight your assessment. If you're too close to the mark where they have you and your house is actually worth that, you risk them actually raising your assessment. But I do have a number of clients who call me every year, and we encourage you guys to keep doing it. Call us every year when you get that tax bill and says, hey, you're going up or down or you're staying the same. Call us. It takes us maybe 20 to 30 minutes per property to help determine whether our local government has, done a good job. The biggest issue, I think, is that I think most of it's automated. I think there's a robot doing a lot of it. Or not a robot per se, but a computer.
Very possible. It's a lot of numbers.
Yeah,
a lot of homes. A lot of places.
There's hundreds.
Probably
of
an algorithm,
thousands.
probably a bit of an algorithm.
It
based
is-
on
no, I think
sales of other properties around you.
I believe they've not even admitted to it. I think they've just been clear about it, saying we do have an automation system that guides us in how we evaluate your house. Problem with that is that anything that a computer is doing should at least be refined and fine-tuned by us.
For those who are curious about petitioning with what they have, what percentage of those do you recommend to petition typically? Is there a percentage of people that you think it is worthwhile to petition what their assessment is at?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, every year I get some people, and like I said, we also have people where it's like, hey, they're actually not that far off. Be careful about fighting them on it, because the thing is, you're not petitioning the computer evaluation. If you have to go and fight it, you're talking to a live person. You have to bring comps with you, and again, you're challenging them. So you just want to be careful and make sure that you're doing the right thing. Because last thing you'd want to do is annoy them or put yourself in a position where it could impact you negatively.
You know
where
what?
they
You're
might
correct.
raise your-
We were wrong. It's actually higher.
Whoops.
Right. Oh, I've literally seen it happen. Or people
Double
that just
whammy.
fight it too much. Sometimes they'll just throw the book at them. I've got guys that owe $200,000 on a house that are worried about it, and I have guys that own $2 million houses that are worried about it. Some justified, some not, and we help guide them, and we don't charge for it. Some realtors probably do, some don't. Don't co-pay $600 for an appraisal. Not in this situation.
Okay. Some more questions from the social media posts. Again, you guys can always Ben's Facebook page is open for you. Facebook page, go to Ben Bleicher's Facebook page. He would love you to ask questions there also. If it's not prg-ne.com or 402 homes for you. Common question, no surprise here on your social media post, is interest rates. Any worry again in terms of, as we get the next few months getting towards summertime to the spring,
They're at 6.
regarding the rates? Are they rising? Are they falling? What's the trend right now? What's the expectation? You guys have any sort of
Have at it, Danny.
Well, at the end of last year, they went as high as 8. I think I saw 8.125 or even an 8.25. And we've seen them in the last couple of weeks as low as 5.875, depending on the loan type. VA, FHA, and there's different programs that might yield a different interest rate, but conventional rates are hovering right about that 6 mark for well-qualified folks. And obviously, we generalize a rate, but it is dependent upon your financial situation and what loan product you use. But overall, they're down significantly from where they were at. And people stopped at a high level doing a whole lot of anything for a while. So houses that were $400K and up, the average time on market increased quite a bit. So what we're seeing now is a bit of a buyer urgency to take advantage of the rates where they're at now. And I would say this is probably a good time to talk a little bit about what we discussed earlier. And, there's folks that want to wait for rates to come down to buy. And I would say this, if it's because you can't afford it due to the rate, then okay. But if you can afford it and you're simply just waiting for the rate to come down, the houses are only going to get more expensive. And everybody else who's waiting is going to get the same increase in buying power that you're waiting for. So it's not really a benefit to wait. You can always refinance later. But if you can afford it now, there are good buying opportunities if you can find something that works for you now. And I always tell my buyers, don't buy anything now just for the sake of it's a good opportunity, right? Like it has to be the right house. Everything has to check the same boxes as it normally has to check. But don't let the rate be the reason you don't, because you're going to buy the house for probably on average, $10,000 less than you normally would. And if you wait till rates come down or you wait till the spring when there's more buyers in the market, you're going to probably pay $20,000 higher. And you're going to be competing and you're going to be buying houses and not doing inspections. So there's just a lot of benefits to buying when the rates are a little bit higher if you can afford it.
How do you forecast, again, next few months? Is it possible? Is there a way you forecast the rates in terms of what they will be by April or May, or is it just kind of wishful thinking?
Well, I mean, the Feds have been fairly clear that they're going to lower them 3 times this year. Whether that's more or less than that or exactly that, we don't know. We do know there's a lot of people parked on the sidelines waiting, which is a little bit worrisome for our clients who are waiting for rates to come down, because, and we'll have to bring on a banker to sort of show us the comparisons here, but buying a house at the price it is now at the rates they are now, opposed to spending, $30,000 more with 0.5% less, math doesn't work out. Buy it now, refi. The rates will get better, and they certainly shouldn't go up at this point as long as the Fed keeps their word.
It is an election year,
which means things will go down.
Yeah, I mean, so the economic picture is usually a little bit rosier in a year where they want the recency bias. So, not that you should count on that, but I mean, it's just something to keep in mind. So.
Yep, I'd rather buy now than 6 months. My prediction, personally, is that we will see another spike. I think if rates went to low 5s right now, it'd be bonanza again, like just nuts. Which would be good for sellers. It's not sustainable for the market as a whole, but it'd be terrible for buyers. Buyers, I can't say this enough. They had a rough
those
go
sellers. Those sellers still have to go buy a house.
I know
they do. Yeah.
Right. So they might get another $25,000, but they're gonna pay that $25,000 to get a house.
The only situation this works out for a seller is if they are
downsizing
big time, like not even a little bit downward. Like if you're going from like here down to here, cool. But cash out, take your money and run. But if you are, it's a weird scenario. We'll try to keep people up to date on this as the current events become aware, or we become aware of what exactly is happening. But as of now, nothing really to report, at least for this year. They're pretty flat around the 6s. I mean, you can manipulate that slightly if you wanted to switch to like a 15-year note or something like that, but that's pretty big deal to do that. It's going to increase the payment a lot just to lower the interest a little bit, so probably not worth it for most people.
We are discussing all things real estate every week here on Get Real with Ben Bleicher. Special guest this week, Danny Pothig. We will have one more segment when we come back. Again, you can always call 402-HOMES for you. Visit prg-ne.com. One final segment for this week on Get Real with Ben Bleicher on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea inside our 93.7 The Ticket studio is now open 7 days a week. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday and Sundays, you can enjoy burritos, cinnamon rolls, fresh brewed coffee, delicious tea, or even their coffee and cream ale. Sold exclusively at the Ticket Mill location. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the weekends. Right here at 1040 O Street in downtown Lincoln.
It's pro time, Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, are about to hit the court. Mark your calendars for January 24th at 7 p.m. when we host the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Witness world-class talent, including national champions and Olympians. Don't wait. Secure your single match tickets today at supernovas.com and become a part of history.
Who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
All right, last segment of another fun edition of Get Real with Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate. It's nice to have our first guest in here. Danny Pothig's been great this whole time and a wonderful addition. Come back often, Danny. Come back often. Don't make this a one-time occasion. This is great.
Yeah, we'll see what the fans say. You got to give the people what they want.
Danny was telling us during the break that he was storming the court during the Nebraska basketball upset against Purdue. Big supporter of Nebraska athletics.
The whole team did, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, so we
Andy
all
and Tucker were there too.
Yep, Andy, Tucker, Mark. We all went to the game, and we were sitting. Normally, I wouldn't storm the court, but I just decided I am that guy.
Yeah,
and I wanted. We were like we were fifth row, and so you have to walk on the floor behind the benches to go wherever you're going. So we saw everyone. We saw the crowd kind of swelling to get ready to go storm the court. And we're like, we have to do it. We have to go storm.
I regret not going to the game. I would have for sure been on that court.
And by the way, I want to defend our program and the security because of certain comments made after the game by certain coaches. That was the most organized and well-controlled crowd in court storming I think I could ever have imagined. I mean, it was everyone was so well behaved as they stormed so there were no Caitlin Clark issues or anything like that.
Well, it's funny because that coach was asked, "Did you have a problem?" No, we had no problems. Just saying in general. So he was like, he didn't say that it was unorganized. He just said in general he's against court stormings, but there was no injuries or problems at this one. So,
I mean, where do you draw the line on safety and etiquette, right? Like he wears pleated pants. Like
this particular coach you're talking about.
Yeah,
yes.
We're not talking about anyone in specific, no names, but the Purdue head coach might be close to the person. The profile of what we're talking about.
Possibly so. All right. Before I get out of here, we got to get to some events coming up. You guys have a busy. Again, it's wintertime. It's cold here, but there's still stuff going on. What do we have for events coming up for you guys in the real estate business?
Well, February 9th through 11th, we are going to have an awesome booth at the home show. We've been building it for the last couple of months, and I'm super excited. We'll post some pictures of it here pretty soon here. We have almost all the pieces to do a dry build in our office. But we'll be there February 9th through 11th. We're going to give away I believe a 65 or 75 inch TV that people can register for. We're going to have a bunch of churro prizes to give out.
Churro prizes?
Yes. Yeah, we might even have some that people can just stop by and eat while we're there. We'll see. Anyways, it'll be good. We'll be there. The whole team will be there in shifts. So if you guys have any questions, if you're thinking about selling your house, if you want to buy your first house or your fifth, and you just want information, come by and talk to us. We're going to have a ton of literature. We will have pamphlets for our builder Medallion Homes. All the guys on the team are extremely well versed in new construction. We can tell you why you should or shouldn't do it. Come by and talk to us. It's going to be a fun time. The home show is great. Lots of good food. They serve alcohol if you want to come have a couple beers and wander around. It's a good time. And again, we'll be there for conversation with literature we can hand out and with prizes because people like free stuff. We also ordered a bunch of new PRG pens and koozies that we'll hand out too. So
I'm excited to see this booth. I love that event. It's always a great event for Lincoln.
We had it.
It's a wonderful
professionally
event.
built. It is gorgeous. I can't wait to showcase it. It's going to be fun.
Okay. Anything else coming up at all for events? That's the big one.
That's the big one. We've got on the horizon. There's other realtor events like there's a million. You have the parade of homes and things like that. But we'll talk about stuff as that gets closer. We're still a few months away from that until spring gets here. So not a ton going on, but we do have a heat wave coming next week. It's supposed to be 55 or 58 by Friday.
I saw several days in the 50s coming up. So we had the negative 10 degrees for a week. That was horrible. We had 12 to 14 inches of snow, which again was fun, but it's over. I think, knock on wood, we maybe have survived winter at this point. I know that's dangerous. Late January saying that. February has been tough. I'm calling my shot.
Now we're in the need a car wash every day phase of the snow melting.
I'm calling my shot. I think winter is over.
I think you're right.
So I can't wait.
If we get another heavy snow,
I need to golf. I need it to be over so I can golf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same here. Well, you could find an indoor golf bay, or maybe find a house that has one of those. They exist right now, right? Ben could put one in his house.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm kind of going a little nuts. So.
Reminder once again, Ben, the days on that home show, just for those who are
February 9th, which is a Friday through the 11th.
Okay.
We'll have the booth fully staffed. At least two of our guys will be there, including myself, every day of the event. And I don't know the hours. I should know that. I'll make sure we talk about that next week.
Okay, we will do that. That will do it for us again. We appreciate you guys for chiming in for another episode of Get Real with Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate. It's been fun having Danny Pothy with us for the first time ever. Our first guest besides myself and Ben. It's awesome. It's awesome having Ben, Danny. So bring in more guests here. Ben, Danny, come on by sometime again in the future. 402 Homes for You, PRG-NE.com to learn more. Again, if you also want to chime in, and if you're watching this after the fact, please write a comment on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. If you're watching on L961, feel free to text the text line 402-464-5685. Any last words for you, Ben, or Danny, before I head out of here?
No, it was fun. Thanks for having us.
We love you.
All right.
We do.
That's it for us. We'll have Get Real with Ben Bleicher again next week. I'm Jake Sorensen signing off for Ben Bleicher and Danny Pothig. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Vershawn Jackson, the captain here for The Body Shop. And man, did they hook me up with a great massage recently. The captain has a lot of stress in his life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relieved. The team at The Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage that hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48th NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's fishing season. Bad actors are trolling your business emails, luring you and your employees to take the bait and steal your private information. Make sure your cybersecurity keeps your business from being the catch of the day. At Hamilton, cybersecurity is our business. We are experts at keeping your network and business information secure and off the hook. Contact Hamilton for a vulnerability assessment today. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
It's Pro Time Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, is playing in the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match on January 24th against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Be a part of history and visit supernovas.com to secure your single match tickets today.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off. Mention this